Hi, this is Anna, and this is how an influential person has affected my life. I had always had a problem with speech and reading when I was very young. The reason for that is that I am adopted. I hail from Astana, Kazakhstan, which makes me Asian due to its location in Central Asia. I was only 2 when I was adopted by my current parents and brought over to the US, where I would preside in Staten Island for 18 years. My sister Aliyah was adopted a year earlier from Azerbaijan. She is my older sister, only by a year, so when they got her, a year later they wanted me. When I was in my homeland, I spoke 3 languages. I spoke Kazakh, I spoke Russian, and only a little bit of English. Being in a new country, I remember not understanding the English language, especially reading it. I just remember not having problems with it. I have vivid memories of standing in my second grade classroom looking at the teacher and not understanding what she was saying. I felt like I was in the Charlie Brown movie and the adults were talking. Like this. I didn't understand what was going on. I was very shy about reading and speaking until about 3rd grade. My teacher was Mrs. Scotto. She was encouraging and gentle, and she did extra work with me to make sure I gained an understanding of reading. At that point, I really started to get a grasp on reading and how it would affect my later life. I really enjoyed it. I became stronger in reading and started to enjoy it. Mrs. Scotto always recommended a new book to me and let me borrow some from the little class library to take home. My parents were very happy that I'd taken such an interest and noticed I was more excited about books and going to the local library. I liked books like Harry Potter, The Sisters Grimm, and Percy Jackson. Every year from then on, I was able to take on bigger books, and I grew to love reading. I became a bookworm very fast and I would be curled up in the classroom with a book. Even when classes were going on, I would have my Harry Potter novels stuck in the desk. Books became a comfort to me, and reading became a comfort to me in later years when I faced other difficulties such as bullying, and so due to that, I'd spend a lot of time alone. But I would always have a book with me, and that would really take me somewhere else. Like usually the Harry Potter books, I'd have like the 4th or the 5th book, and I'd just be reading that, and I wouldn't think about how other struggles really faced me. And my parents always took me to the library, and my mom loves reading as much as I do. Mrs. Scotto became an influential person in my life who helped me hone my reading skills and made my life more enjoyable. Thanks to Mrs. Scotto, I read a lot more in the following years. Every classroom would have a reading section, and I would always go there and just look at all the books. Some of them would be like very complicated, like Life of Pi or Pygmalion, and then some would be really simple, like Percy Jackson books, something on an easier reading level. I would always go for like the very creative books or the ones about like Greek myths or adventures. Although I never liked Twilight because, oof. But I remember reading just became more of a way to be creative in my mind, and it really helped my imagination grow as I grew older. I think it's part of the reason I became an artist because I'd see all the drawings. I'd be like, I could do that. So I really started to like doodle characters like Draco Malfoy and Percy Jackson, things like that. And then reading became very influential in my life because if I found like a really good book with a good moral in it, I would keep it or I would buy it or after I borrowed it from the library. Mrs. Guy should always say like take a book that you'd like from the little library and then have it back at this certain date. She'd even be fine if I kept it and then she would always remind me, but she didn't get mad if I kept it an extra day or two. Mrs. Scotto was the 3rd grade teacher, but after so many years, she was still my favorite teacher because just her being so encouraging and really helping me. And she was like very gentle and kind and understanding because here I was, this new foreign kid for a couple of years. I hadn't really made any friends yet, and I was just really a quiet kid when I was really young because I still didn't really understand anything. Like even memories back then, I remember just not comprehending, not understanding what was going on or what anyone was saying, and especially reading was harder for me. So I really appreciated that she was always there and she would always take time after class. She'd like just come up to my desk and then she had book club and that's when I really got into a book club and the first book that we read was the first Harry Potter. And I remember just falling in love with that and just opened up my eyes to like so many things that reading could do. It'd make you feel things, it can make you root for someone, helps you understand morals. So I really appreciated Mrs. Scotto, and that's how she's an influential person in my life. Thank you.